Hello, hello. Good morning, Bambi. Good to see you. How was my night? My night was good. I went to bed early last night and just was out selling all day. Closed up at a little before 6 p.m. Got home, put everything away, and I was probably asleep by 7, maybe 7:30. But it was a good day of sales. A little slow, still kind of early in the season for the Christmas tree thing, but yeah, it was good. I'm about to say guns for none. Yeah, gun issues is a hot topic right now. There's a lot of gun violence going on. There was a shooting in Stockton, California, within the last couple days, or some rapper. It's like retaliation or something. Few kids were killed. Crazy town. Let's see here. Get that loaded up. Yeah, it is ridiculous. Way too much violence out there right now. It's hard to know what's what though. I mean, some of it is probably too many guns and just gang violence, and then some of it is false flag operation. Government propaganda, like the DC shooting, whatever that was. Sweet Tea, good morning. How are you? Don't have a whole lot of videos, so it'll be kind of a short show today. I'm going to pull a Tommy Stiggs and say it's going to be a short show. When I was at the little stand yesterday selling the chocolates and stuff, as if I don't have enough sweets, the lady that runs the coffee truck, JJ's Java, she has a freeze-dried candy machine. So she sells like freeze-dried candy from time to time. She took marshmallows and a candy cane and freeze-dried it. So this bag she put in one bag a pack of hot cocoa mix, a gingerbread marshmallow, a candy cane, a little star marshmallow, a bunch of little colored marshmallows, and they're all freeze-dried. So you could just pop it in, and then it comes with a little pack of hot cocoa for $5. Cute little thing. So I bought 2 of them, and I ate one of them before I passed out last night like a dummy, like a degenerate. I ate every last piece of the candy, which is why I don't buy freeze-dried candy anymore. But what else? But yeah, yesterday was they have ice skating at this place that sells the Christmas trees that I'm selling at, and the ice skating is a 45-minute session. It starts, like at 1 o'clock to 1:45, 2 o'clock to 2:45. So I get a little people come in, at the beginning of the hour. Some people buy then, and some people buy after they skate. So it's kind of the routine. Kind of not a lot going on in between. But just when I was about to pack up last night, I was lazy. I didn't even hook my lights up to my stand, and it's getting dark. So, I mean, you can't even see. I have to put like the flashlight. They have lights out there, but you still can't see my table very good. And so me and the other guy next to me were like, yeah, let's go. And then a couple of people came up, and somebody, I made like $150 right away. It's amazing how much money people will spend at my table. 2 days ago, somebody spent $120, and then this lady last night spent $90. So that was cool. And I'll be doing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all month up until the 21st. Plus, I still have the admin building Friday day, so I'll be double dipping Fridays. I won't be there on the 13th, which is a Saturday, because I'm doing some some big Christmas thing. It's like there's gonna be a lot, like 5,000-6,000 people there at least, and there's only 12 of us. And I've got the lock on Dubai bars, hot cocoa bombs, caramel apples, chocolate strawberries. The only thing I can't bring that I do is my cheesecakes, so which is fine. And then on the 14th, I got an event at the country market. So it's a full month for sure. I got to make sure my chocolate doesn't get stolen this time. I'm supposed to be here on Tuesday. And because I have to go back to the store this morning if I want to do any strawberries today. I don't have any chocolate left. I have dark chocolate. People don't like dark chocolate for their strawberries. I got Xmas fudge to start making this week to get ready to send out. Nice. I don't even have time to send anything out. ALV's mad at me because I can't send him any chocolate. But I can't keep anything in stock. You know, it's just a mess right now. So he's going to have to wait. If he doesn't like it, he can block and unsub. Whatever he has to do. Report me. Copyright strike me. But yeah, no, it's going good as far as that goes. I made some old-fashioned jelly nougat candy, which I ate half of it. I'm not going to make any more of that shit because I end up eating it myself. Yeah, I got to order more pistachio paste. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I might do that today because I don't have any milk chocolate Dubai bars. I've got maybe 15 of the dark chocolate ones left. So, Daniel Berry, good morning. Happy Sunday to you. The fudge I posted, I made for the city council meeting Tuesday. Oh, nice. That's awesome. All right, let's get into it. Let's see here. Just some more random videos today. Not a whole lot going on over the holiday weekend, but doesn't mean it can't change in a split second. Not in the world today, you know. But we have Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
I don't think that
telling the European Union to mind their own business. And I have a take on this because normally I wouldn't give a shit.
I don't think that the European Union gets to determine what international law is. They certainly don't get to determine is how the United States defends its national security. The United States is under attack from organized criminal narco-terrorists in our hemisphere, and the president is responding in the defense of our country. I do find it interesting that all these countries want us to send, and supply, for example, nuclear-capable Tomahawk missiles to defend Europe. But when the United States positions aircraft carriers in our hemisphere where we live, somehow that's a problem. So I would say that the United States and this president has made very clear, his job is to protect the United States from threats against the United States, and that is what he's doing in this operation. I don't think that the European Union gets to determine what international.
Now, all we have to do is substitute European Union with Israel. And I think the majority of the American people would be happy. Who gives a shit about the European Union right now? Let's talk about Israel. And, there's no bigger. Marco Rubio is Israel. He is, openly a Jewish Zionist in bed with Benjamin Netanyahu. Just so I would love for him to say Israel doesn't get to determine our foreign policies and stay out of our hemisphere. And they're literally in the White House, like every week, Israel. So that's my take on that one. And Venezuela isn't going anywhere. We're definitely, we're definitely, I don't know if you're going to call it going to war with Venezuela, but we're definitely going to start bombing the shit out of Venezuela here pretty quick. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that's just facts. Howard Stern. This is Erica Durrance, and I'm not exactly sure who she is. Let me look this up real quick. Who is Erica Durance? Canadian. She played Lois Lane in Smallville. She was in Supergirl, Saving Hope. So she was like a Superman actress, Lois Lane. This is how Lois Lane is treated on Howard Stern. This was a long time ago, obviously, but.
You seem really interested in your sex life when you're young.
Yeah. I knew they would glob onto something, so.
I'm gonna bang you.
What do you say we double that number today?
Oh, I couldn't.
So you had seen his wiener?
Oh, yeah.
No, had you? I'm curious. I want to know because this doesn't happen.
I don't understand why they always play the stupid music with these videos, but it is what it is.
You're allowed to touch your boobs. By the way, they're nice.
Yes.
What do you see? Ever use a vibrator?
No?
You would use your hand on the guy, not your mouth.
No.
So that mouth is only for yapping, huh?
I don't know why I didn't leave, but he had two cronies that threatened. They were standing there off camera, and they were going to drop trow and show me their business to try to get another reaction out of me.
Right before I beat off last night, I was looking at. One of the guys sent me a link. She's naked in there.
I asked if she was upset and her jaw gets a little
It's tight, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I saw here. That
Yeah, we were.
smile.
Oh, no, no shit, Robin. When you act like a disgusting, vile pig like that to somebody. Oh, I noticed her jaw got tight. These people were just absolute. So glad Howard Stern is gone. Magooch, good morning, sir. He is a douchebag loser, Bambi. So glad he got fired, and well, I'm just glad he went to Sirius when he did, so he just wasn't shoved down our face in like mainstream media. They kept it under a paywall. So, which fine with me because I never subscribed to Sirius or whatever that is, XM radio. So yeah, normally I wouldn't play a Howard Stern thing, but that was just beyond, and he's the one that contributed to Dana Plateau overdosing or committing suicide, whatever happened to her, because it happened like the next day after she was on Howard Stern, and they were, belittling her beyond belief. He is one fucked up individual, but that's how those people are, Okay, let's see here. This is Rob McCoy. He is the pastor for Turning Point USA. He claims that Charlie called him America's pastor. And let's just listen to this weirdo talk for a second. Because the Candace Owens thing isn't going away. They're still gaslighting her beyond belief. Everyone's coming out of these people we don't even know are coming out of the closet, saying that they always started out like, I can't let this go any longer. I have to speak out about Candace Owens. I have to talk about the mental illness of Candace. No, you don't. You can just shut the fuck up and let her try to figure out who killed her friend. And instead of this huge cover up, this guy is leading the charge. This is one of the weirdest human beings I've ever watched. I mean, seriously, he is just one of the creepiest guys, man. From him having to keep his hands in his pockets. I don't know if he has he's got something going on with him. He's always crossing his arms and hand in his pocket. I don't know if it's Parkinson's or what exactly is going on, but he's such his movements and everything is just very weird, man. Not to mention what he says. It's hard to even follow what this guy, Rob McCoy, talks about. He talks on just a different level than most of us are. He talks on these weird, like biblical. It's weird, man. We'll just listen to this guy.
There's woke left and woke right. Let me explain. We'll take the inauguration. Woke left said there's not enough color in this gathering of people. Woke right says there's too many Jews. I got from two separate people calling the president. This is a man, by the way, that took 2 assassination attempts and took a bullet, was facing 700 years in prison and tried to bankrupt him. They went after everyone that was affiliated with him, including his family. They raided his home. And all they could say is call him Zion Don.
Call him Zion Don. He takes everything that Trump went through. The Russia, the bullet to the ear, going through Melania's bedroom drawers, and now he immediately turns it into calling him Zion Don. So this is how this guy works. This is the military-industrial complex PSYOP operation in real time, where he's going to take all that and convince you that it is, you're anti-Semitic. It's always about being anti-Semitic with these people.
Because he's surrounded by Jews. If that's your position, this is not a fellowship for you.
So let me just rewind that just to hear it.
All they could say is call him Zion Don, because he's surrounded by Jews. If that's your position, this is not a fellowship for you. You're anti-Semitic. You can call yourself an anti-Zionist, but you're anti-Semitic. Watching Candace Owen, she couldn't even listen to the rabbi's prayer. She had to cut away. That's not Christendom. We don't participate in replacement theology. You have to pretzel yourself. And you want to find the controversy everywhere in the world in the form of a Jew? Go somewhere else. And that's a kind invitation to leave, because if you remain, we're going to have to ask you to leave. So.
That's a kind invitation, because if you remain, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And if you don't leave, we may possibly blow your neck off. We may possibly shoot you in the neck and make all your blood spill out on national TV like we did Charlie Kirk. I mean, this guy is just so weird, man. What's up, Pain Like Bane? How are you? And that's a pastor talking. And that guy, his 2 sons are the CEO and COO of Turning Point USA. They're just caught in lie after lie after lie after lie over shit. Anyway, that guy just fucking creeps me out, man. I don't know what it is about him other than he is just obviously, knows what happened to Charlie Kirk. And he's like, one of the front lines as far as like the cover up and steering the narrative and blaming Candace for being crazy. And Turning Point, what exactly? He's a narcissist. He's a lot of things, but yeah, he's definitely a narcissist. Besides being, probably like a mass murderer. I heard like because his name's, Rob McCoy. I heard that the McCoys, they're so big in the military that they have their own fleet of ships. So, he's like literally part of the military industrial complex, these people, their family. They all roll together. Speaking of Zion, Don, and anti-Semitic and all this, I know that those guys probably have something to do with this in our country. And there's absolutely no need to explain what's going on here. Now, 5 years ago, everybody would have needed an explanation. Like, what are we doing here? But nobody needs an explanation to what's going on here. And this is Portland, Oregon, 2025. I guarantee everybody listening to this show. Yeah, apparently they have a fleet of like battleships and all this kind of stuff, the McCoy fleet or something. I didn't actually fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that that's accurate. But is there anybody that does not know what's going on there? Everybody knows what that is. And yep, exactly. Paint like vein, the fentanyl posse. There's no need to let everybody know that it's fentanyl. We all know, right? And it's not a drug; it's a weapon. They always talk about fentanyl. You know, we found enough fentanyl. We found 30,000 pills. That's enough fentanyl to kill 3 million Americans. They always frame it in that context. The amount of fentanyl equals amount of deaths of Americans. So it's not a drug, it's a weapon, and it works very well. You know, there's no denying, you can't hide the fact that you're a fentanyl user. You know what I mean? It's not like you can hide the fact that you do coke or probably even heroin. You can't hide the fact that you do fentanyl because you literally slump over and anybody could just, I guess, probably like rummage through your pockets, or it's insane. It's sad, but I guess my point is that somebody's responsible for this, and that somebody is the United States government, whatever that really looks like, part Israel, part banking cartel, whatever it is. You don't allow, all the money that's being made, the hundreds of gazillions of dollars off fentanyl, the banks are 100% have to be involved. That's just a fact. And a lot of that money is probably Cash App. I don't know how those guys pay for their drugs, but I'm going to guess that it's through like Cash App and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like they probably prepay for that shit now. And so there's a huge money trail. And, so that means PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, all the banks, online banking, Square, all that shit is complicit in it. So, if they didn't want fentanyl in this country, it wouldn't be there. The banks control everything. If they don't want it in our country, it ain't going to be here. That's just the way it is. They want the shit. It pisses me off, man. What's his name say? What's that guy's name? Chris Tucker. What's his saying? Pain like Bane. I know you know. I'm pissed off, man. Knew a successful businessman who jacked up daily. Yeah, for sure. But probably not fentanyl, right? Are you talking about fentanyl? Or something else? Because the other drugs, it is, like coke was part of the music and heroin too and all that, definitely not good for you. Okay, yeah, heroin. Yeah, no, heroin, that's what I'm saying. Like, even that, people can, I guess, somewhat function. My theory is that heroin turns people gay. That the 60s movement with heroin was, a lot of people think that and atrazine, they were like putting atrazine and some other chemicals in that shit. Yeah, no, you couldn't function on, that's what I'm saying. Like fentanyl, it's crazy. And the fact that people do that is weird. You know what I mean? It's just, they had to have just like completely taken out all the other drugs. So like if you have to do a drug, I guess you could smoke. I smoke weed, so I don't know. Even if they quit making weed, like right this second, there was never another bowl to be smoked, I would never even, think about doing fentanyl. Those people got to be really fucked up to do that, and there's so many of them, that's what's so weird, right? Like if you see somebody slumped over and you see the effects of what that drug does, why would you do it? But then you hear people overdose on it, and then all the fentanyl users want that drug. Like they go to the drug dealer and try to get the same batch of fentanyl that killed somebody because they know that it's the good shit, and that they're just convinced that that person who died did too much. I heard that story more than once. He had a successful business, needed 3 or 4 hits a day, but still made thousands. That's crazy, man. That's got to be, and I had a friend that, I can't talk to him no more. I haven't talked to him for years because that's what he started doing. And who knows if he got involved in fentanyl or what. I quit talking to him before fentanyl hit he was smoking heroin. I just can't be around anybody that does anything like that, And that was even before I made that decision even before I started my business. Now that I have a business, fuck, would not even fuck around with people like that. They're depressed, yeah, sad. It is sad. We'll move on. What else we got here? So this lady, this is the opposite. This lady is going to feel like she's oppressed if her husband does not buy her a $35,000. What do you call these things? Birkin. She is getting a $35,000 Birkin. And it says the husband is not so entertained as she is. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now I want one too. Look at that bag. I can see why it costs $35,000.
Oh my God, yes. This is everything. I wasn't taking black. I was looking at crazy color.
You dummy. You big rich dummy. Buying your wife a $35,000 Birkin bag. This is why shit costs so much at the grocery store. Because these idiots are buying $35,000 bags, little purses. You dummy. Golly, man. To each their own. That bag's ugly. What is 35? What? What are those things? They look like little tabs that you tear off. Does anybody out there have a Birkin bag and can explain why it would be $35,000 for that bag? You know what I'd rather have? A $30 bag with $34,970 in it. How about that? How about you give me a $30 bag with $34,970 in it? And you can keep that Birkin. Joe Della, good morning. How are you? I mean, this is just crazy town. A $35,000 bag, I wonder how much her cell phone costs. Her cell phone probably costs as much as Tommy Stick's cell phone or ALV cell phone, I bet you. So they got a $35,000 purse, a Tommy Stig cell phone. These people, man, the life of luxury they live. What else we got here? Oh yeah, we got to play the TikTok music, of course. All right. Now I remember, like in the 80s, they cloned didn't they clone a sheep or a lamb, Molly? Right, Molly the sheep. Do they sell those on Amazon? It's a good question. So let's find out. Let me look real quick. No. They have Birkin style bags, it says. I see a $350 Hermes Kelly style bag. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's see here. Let me go to filters and see if I can find the highest price first. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a purse shopper. I would never. A sheep called Dolly got cloned. Okay, that was Dolly, not Molly. Good golly, Miss Dolly. So this is a lamb that they are now, and I'm sure they've been doing this forever. It says an artificial womb that successfully grew a baby lamb. It says that this is disturbing on so many levels. This is somebody's opinion and giving me the Matrix movie vibes. So I seen this and then I went to ChatGPT just to make sure. And where did it go? Google says researchers have successfully used an artificial womb to keep premature lamb fetuses alive for up to 4 weeks. The system, called a biobag, is a fluid-filled bag that mimics a natural womb, providing oxygen and nutrients through tubes connected to the lamb's umbilical cord. The lambs grew wool, and their lungs and brains developed naturally during this period. And they're using this for, allegedly, to use on humans, premature babies. So they have fluid-filled bag, artificial amniotic fluid, umbilical cord connection, external pump. External pump device oxygenates the lamb's blood, similar to how a placenta would function. The technology could one day be used to support extremely premature human infants born around 22 to 23 weeks gestation. While the technology is promising and human trials are still in the future, researchers are continuing to test and refine the system with the goal of making it a viable option for premature babies. Okay. So we know that's a lie. We know for 100% if they're able to clone and grow in these wombs that there's, all of us have probably voluntarily taken a swab at one point in our life. And if you've taken a swab, then more than likely that there's a clone of you somewhere doing something. That's just my theory. Because I guarantee they're lying about this shit. They've been doing this for a long time. Slim, good morning. What's going down? $350 is still expensive. Yeah, I agree. I'll take a $13 bag and you can put $337 cash in the bag. That's what I'd do. Let's see here. So let's watch this real quick. We don't need the stupid music. It's a lamb fetus. In place of the mother, it's the artificial womb. That's the bio bag. Children's Hospital of Philadelphia is doing this. So, I mean, chances are ultimately science hopes to help premature human babies. Yeah, right. Each year, 30,000 Americans are born at 26 weeks or younger. The second they take that first breath of air, their lungs stop developing. As a result, many preemies suffer long-term health problems. But what if they could finish developing after birth? Ooh. I don't know. Thoughts? Yeah, we know all that. Anybody have any thoughts on that? If you had a premature baby, would you put the baby in a bio bag for another 2 months to fully develop the lungs? That's got to be psychologically damaging to both parties, to the mother and to the child, you would think. I mean, are they going to figure out a way for the bio bag to be carried around by the mother? I mean, I don't know how that works, but you separate the baby from the mom and you're introducing artificial fluids to an infant. You could turn that baby gay. You could make that baby a mass murderer. You could make that baby. I think the side effects would far outweigh the potential side effects. Could far outweigh, and I don't believe for 1 second that that's why they're doing this stuff. And sometimes they have to tell us the truth. They have to tell on themselves so they don't get karmic retribution in their secret society rituals and shit. That's why they're always telling on themselves in the media. So, who fucking knows? I mean, just think about this. What does the most secret research facility, probably military grade, on or off this planet, could be on the moon for all we know? What does it look like? If we're able with our own eyes to see this bio bag like this with the lamb, imagine what's really going on. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably not even comprehensible what they've been able to do already. You know what I mean? There's probably people walking around out there that, aren't, I guess, they're not even human. Alex Jones was talking about this a few years ago, to where with all of the, they've done things like made a liger, literally, it's a tiger and a lion put together. And they've done that with all different types of animals. You'd be shocked at how many animals they've crossbred. And, when you do that, I just totally lost my train of thought. If they're able to do that, you know what I mean? What else are they able to do? You know what I mean? It's very fascinating. I'm going to move on. I completely lost my train of thought on all that. Our FBI director is explaining to us why his girlfriend needs our taxpayer money to keep her protected. His Israeli country singer girlfriend, Alexa Wilkeson, whatever her name is. Alexis.
I want to give you the opportunity to set the record straight on a couple of things that have been in the media a lot. And one of them is, the allegation is there was too much of an effort in terms of the security detail, like an overprotection of your partner, Alexis Wilkins. How do you think about this reporting and these allegations?
Well, first of all, thank you for letting me address that. I think it's disgusting that an agency head has to even address the fact that their partner's life is continuously being threatened. We treat my partner like any agency head treats their partner, with the authorities that are in place already, following all the rules and regulations. And when any individual across any agency head and their respective spouse or partner has a threat to their life, we come in hard. And unfortunately, there are multiple threats against Alexis's life that have caused us to properly secure her safety. And that is done independently by career FBI agents. I don't have any part in that. They make those decisions. They are the ones doing the security backgrounds and security analysis. And the people on social media using it to generate clicks and trash are jeopardizing the safety of her and other great Americans. And we are going to protect them every step of the way. We are not doing anything any agency has not done before us.
Mm-hmm. What the second question that has been out there quite a bit is that perhaps you might be using the FBI jet too often for personal reasons, in the context of having criticized the previous FBI director about this exact thing. What are your thoughts on that?
Simple. We put out the flight information for the American public. No other director did. We put it all out. I'm using the plane less than my prior two predecessors, the FBI plane. And just to foot stomp this, I don't have the option of flying commercial. I'm not allowed to. That is not a choice that is given to me. The US government has said the FBI director, not just me, any of them, cannot use commercial air. On top of that, Jan, the prior directors utilized airfields such as Reagan National Airport to the tune of $4,000 to $7,000 additional tax.
You know, Cash, it's not so much that you're wasting our money on your pathetic girlfriend and yourself going around to flying around to concerts and shit like that, UFC events. It's the fact that you're a lying sack of shit. You're the most worthless FBI director we've ever had. Everything that comes out of your mouth is a lie. Did they crossbreed a liger artificially? Yes. Yes, they did. I looked it up. So they're called ligers and tigons. A liger is a male lion, female tiger, the largest big cat on earth. They can be over 900 pounds. A tigon, male tiger, female lion, much smaller than ligers, usually close to the size of the parents. Crossbreeding is possible because both lions and tigers are very, very closely related. They're both in the Panthera genus. The hybrids do not exist in the wild. Tigers and lions live on different continents, so they never meet naturally. I'm skeptical of that statement right there, but most animal welfare groups discourage breeding them. Hold on. Can you give me a list of any other animals that have been crossbred? Horse hybrids, male donkey and female horse, male horse, female donkey. There's a zorse, a zebra and a horse. There's a zonkey or a zedonk, a zebra and a donkey. There's beefalo, American buffalo and domestic cattle. Yakalo, yak and American bison. There's a geep, a goat and a sheep, or a shote. Bear hybrids, there's the Growler bear, or the Pisley bear, they call it. It's a grizzly crossed with the polar bear. There's cat hybrids, domestic crossed with wild cats. Savannah cat, which is domestic with the serval. The Bengal cat, domestic and Asian leopard cat. Dog hybrids, there's wolf dogs, coy dogs, hybrid hamsters, rabbit hybrids, bird hybrids, turkey crossed with a chicken is a turkin or a turkey. All kinds of duck species. Pheasant and a chicken is a ficken. They have a wolfen, which is a false killer whale crossed with a bottlenose dolphin. I mean, the list goes on. Deer hybrids, raptors. Good Lord. And, you know, some of those are natural. Some of those are human, intentional hybrids. Craziness. It's a whole show right there. A horse and a donkey equals a mule. So I don't know anything about let me go back to that real quick where it said horse and donkey. Yeah. Horse hybrids. A mule is a male donkey and a female horse. A hinny is a male horse and a female donkey. A zorse is a zebra crossed with a horse. And as a donk is a zebra crossed with a donkey. Yeah. So a mule is a male donkey. A hinny is a male horse. I never knew that. Interesting. All right. Yeah, and I don't think too many people would disagree that Cash Patel is just worthless. Hopefully he gets fired eventually here pretty soon. Okay, here's two people who I'm pretty sure none of us know who these people are, but these are the people that come out of the woodwork and feel compelled to criticize Candace Owens.
Pulled the trigger while he was sneezing or something. Mm-hmm. We just need to question things before we judge things. Let's do some fact finding. And I'm all for that. But please, people need to realize that the Candace Owens approach is actually borderline mental case.
Okay.
There's something seriously wrong.
What do you mean?
The Jews did everything. The Jews killed Charlie. The Jews, everything about the Jews, and the Jews. And honestly, if they're that powerful, then why aren't things way better for them? If they control Hollywood, why do they absolutely reek at controlling PR? They're terrible at it. If the Jews are so fantastic at all this stuff that she claims they are, or so bad that they are, everything is, I'm sorry to say it, just blame the Jew. In fact, I don't know if you saw, what's his face? Who's the guy, Tatum? Officer Tatum.
Brandon Tatum. Yeah. I just talked to Brandon a couple days ago.
He just did a cool podcast on, about the Jews being blamed for everything. We have to be careful. We cannot blame the Canadians for everything. Well, we're not talking about Canadians. That's exactly right. But we cannot just, I tell you what, if the conclusion regarding world events is easy for us to immediately spew, we're probably wrong.
Yeah.
I was muted, sorry. If anybody got any useful information out of that, I'd love to hear what it was. You know, that's literally what it sounds like when somebody gets paid to say something. You know, there's no truth behind what he said. He's just literally got paid to say some fucking nonsense. And it's easy to spot because the takeaway is nothing. You know, we can't blame the Jews for everything. Nobody is fucking blaming the Jews for everything. We're calling out the fact that the government, Cash Patel in particular, is straight up lying about all the facts of the case of the Charlie Kirk assassination. Okay. If there's one fact that's correct, that's the fact that they're lying about all that shit. A 30-06 did not poke a hole in Charlie Kirk's net. He is not the man of steel because he ate spinach. And somehow they turn this into Israel, you're anti-Semitic. You always blame the Jews. And it's just gaslighting 101. You know, it's Sigmund Freud tactics. It's exactly what these people do every time. Gaslight. A hinny is a female donkey, a male horse is a stallion. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. All the, the short amount of time that I tried to do some horse handicapping and stuff, and you look at the stats, and then you can see the lineage, and there's the sires and the dames, and I don't know what means what, but it just made me think. I was like, damn, these rich people really take this shit serious, man. I bet you there's people been murdered over horses and bloodlines and stuff like that when it comes to, the equestrian world. A real thoroughbred female donkey is a Jenny. Interesting. So you obviously have some, you know a lot about horses and this kind of stuff, Joe. Like, why is that? Were you involved in horse racing, or just have an interest in them? Curious. Let's see here. Stockton, California. Numerous emergency crews on scene of a major mass shooting at a birthday, as multiple children have been shot with fatalities. At this time, numerous law enforcement agencies are on the scene. At least 19 people have been struck by gunfire, including children as young as 9, 12, and a 23-year-old, and several additional adults. Officials have confirmed at least 4 fatalities, though they caution that the death toll may climb as more information comes and multiple children are receiving CPR. The incident reportedly unfolded near a birthday party where families and children had gathered moments before the shooting began. The gunman remains on the run, and authorities are actively searching the surrounding neighborhoods. Police are urging residents to avoid the area. This is still developing.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Supposedly 12 people got hit. I guess it was in them houses right here around the corner.
You're good to stand there, man. Just don't come down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody okay?
Yeah, I have 2 additional here for her speakers that we're going to transport. That will be the end of the victims over here.
God.
And I have another thing bookmarked. Apparently, I don't know if it's the same story, but your family had horses. Okay, that's awesome. I don't know if it's the same story, but I have a thing where there's some rapper or something that was targeted. I don't know. We'll play that. I don't know if it's the same thing or not, but so this is somebody talking about Candace Owens. Man, this is creepy because she claims she didn't do a show at all last week. She claims that that the French president and his wife, who let's be honest, is a man, has a dick, want her dead, and they paid for her assassination. And she claims that she has proof all the way to like the money trail, to the money being deposited, to the French Foreign Legion 13th Brigade being involved, to all this stuff. And so this is allegedly the whistleblower. And let's just listen. You have to read I'll read it.
Rank Colonel DGSC Action Division. For 21 years, I ran black contracts in Africa, Middle East, and yes, sometimes on your soil. Tonight, I break every oath I ever took. 2 days ago, a priority cable landed on my desk. Operation Poignard. Target Candace wins. Client Unit 8200 liaison embedded inside the Elysee. Payment routed through a shell in Cyprus we have used since the Rainbow Warrior days.
So he's saying that he got orders to kill Candace Owens, and the money was wired through a shell company in Cyprus that they've been using forever.
The directive is explicit. Quote, eliminate the subject during live broadcast. Maximum visceral impact. The blade must be visible. The audience must feel the cut. They want her open from sternum to pelvis while the red light is on.
He's saying, now remember, her best friend had his neck blown apart and his blood squirted. Sorry to be graphic. His blood squirted out all over, even though there was no blood trail, which is impossible, in front of 3,000 people, live at UVU campus, not to mention all of us that got PTSD from watching it on a video from X. Okay. That did happen. We all know that's a fact. We can speculate who did it. Was it Tyler Robinson? Was it Lance Twiggs? Was it the French Foreign Legion? Was it a drone? Was it a Jewish space blazer? I mean, anything's fucking possible. The one fact is, other than, it potentially could have been a hologram, which I'm not convinced that it wasn't. But, I think we can all agree 99.99% that he was killed and his neck blew apart in front of all of us. I think we could all agree on that. Other than the 0.001% of us that may believe it was a hologram, the whole thing never even really happened. It was just like a mirage, which is possible. Because if we would hear this guy saying that this is what they wanted to do to Candace Owens, it sounds like just crazy talk. I wouldn't even put any stock into it. The fact that her best friend was killed publicly so violently, and I still have it's still literally, I have PTSD from that. I think a lot of us do. That they are saying, this guy is saying that he got orders that they wanted to kill her live on her show. That means that somebody is going to fucking break into her studio while she's live on air and show us the knife, cut her from her sternum to her pelvis while the red light is on. That's what they want. I mean, that is some fucked up shit. This isn't some fucking crazy leftists. Leftists don't even exist. That's just a made-up term. This is high-level, organized, satanic fucking shit, man. That it gives me the creeps even fucking thinking about it right now. If that's true, why wouldn't it be true? They just blew her fucking... And you know why? You know why Charlie Kirk was killed and why they didn't kill Candace? Because she was the one they wanted to kill in the first place. It's because we all would have known who did it. This is my theory. If those guys would have had her killed, she was in the middle of talking about them. She was doing a whole series about how Brigitte Macron has a dick and is a pedophile. And even President Trump personally called her and asked her to stop doing that, to stop talking about it, because none of the lawsuits worked. The president, it's the first time in history a president of a nation has ever sued a podcaster, and because their feelings got hurt, quit talking about us, the quit sending out the mean tweets. And so there's actually a $50 million pending lawsuit right now that the Macrons have against Candace Owens. We all would have known it was them if they would have killed her like that. So I just feel like they killed Charlie. People say that they killed him because he was talking bad about Israel, which is true. And there's the intervention at the Hamptons. And if you guys follow the whole story, you know about that. If you don't, it's just too much information to go over. We'll get sidetracked too much. There's a couple reasons why they wanted Charlie dead too. But they were hoping that killing Charlie would freeze Candace. and she would shut up and get the hint and drop it. And what does she do? She doesn't double down. She doesn't triple down. She comes out fucking, and she already said it even before she realized that it was this bad. She goes, bring it. She goes, I want war with all of you. That's literally what she said on her show. I want war with all of you. She said, fucking bring it. But she didn't realize that it was this bad. This is the most fucked up shit I've ever heard. Literally, like, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around this, that this was said. You know, this is the level that we're dealing with, you know, not just for Charlie Kirk assassination, since, I mean, you could probably take it back at least to JFK. This is the same people that are operating on this level. You know, when you cross a certain line to the cabal, they will publicly execute you and literally blow your fucking face off in front of everybody. But if they would have did that to Candace like that, I don't think I think a lot of people would have stopped live streaming. Honestly, I think it would have changed the whole landscape of YouTube forever if they were to do that. And who's to say that they still can't? It's really fucking scary. It's some fucked up shit, man. But I'm so glad that she has the courage to fucking do what she's doing, because if it wasn't for her, this would all be fucking swept under the rug. It was Tyler Robinson and Charlie's dead, and they fucking name a boulevard after him, and let's fucking move on. Let's sell his book for him, and we'll make all the money off of it, because that's literally what they're trying to do. It's fucking demonic shit. So they want her open from sternum to pelvis while the red light is on.
They want the chat scrolling, no, as her intestines hit the desk.
They want the chat scrolling, no, as her intestines hit the desk.
That trauma is the secondary payload. Primary payload is you, the viewers. Break the Americans who still speak against Israel. Make the rest too afraid to open their mouths. And frame it as a jihadi attack to push their geopolitical agenda, their usual modus operandi. The team is already in country. 4 operators, 2 ex-Legion Blade specialists from Corsica, 1 woman involved in the job on that Saudi journalist in Istanbul, and a spotter who was in the crowd in Utah. They have our studio floor plan, they have the shift change of our security. 2 of our own circle accepted crypto for information 2 weeks ago. When she cancelled this week's shows, the orders updated immediately. Mobile killbox. Wherever she surfaces next, whether it's an emergency stream, even a goddamn parking lot live stream, they are planning to be there. I sent her the precaution through a cutout she trusts. Burner rules, no GPS devices, no routines, but she is stubborn. She thinks exposure protects her. It does not. It is the bait. If she goes live again without changing her voice print, without hard encryption, without ditching every person who has been within 10 meters of her in the last month, she is as good as dead. They will let her speak for 5 minutes, long enough for the bot to boost the clip, then the feed will show exactly what they want the world to see. I am recording this because when they find me, I want there to be a record. This is not rogue, this is policy, signed at the highest level. Tell her, do not trust any American agency that offers protective custody. More than half of them are penetrated. Tell her the only safe move is to disappear completely for 90 days. After that, maybe the war they are planning will make her irrelevant.
That's so fucking creepy. I gotta go back and play something real quick.
They will let her speak for 5 minutes, long enough for the bot to boost the clip, then the feed will show exactly what they want the world to see.
Long enough for the bots to boost the clips, and the feed will show exactly what they want the world to see. See, that's what I'm confused about that part right there, because they did that shit in the Charlie Kirk assassination. The first video, I've talked about this before, and a lot of people say the same thing. They manipulated the videos. You know, the first video I seen was not, I never seen again. Then after that, it was his neck exploding. The first video was weird. So that's some fucking scary shit, man. I don't even know how to process that. They're trying to frighten and intimidate her. I don't think that they would do it if it's a threat. They would do it. It's a threat for her to back up. Well, 100%. It's definitely a threat for her to back off. But again, you know, they killed Charlie Kirk publicly like that. Publicly. They killed her publicly, and at the very least, the FBI is covering it up. So we know the FBI is 100% crooked and cannot be trusted. That's some scary shit. So they're one of the agencies that are supposed to protect domestically. And to know that they're as crooked as they come, they're part of that fucking satanic death cult. I mean, there's no other way to put it. You know, Cash Patel comes out and says that they did it in 33 hours, and you know that it's a 30-06. It's definitely intimidation, and it's working. I mean, they got me fucking scared talking about this, because I truly believe. I mean, look at what Israel does to the Palestinians, and you know you know that the media is not even allowed to go over there. That's why we never see that shit. They're not allowed to go over there. So much shit goes through my brain when I start thinking about this shit. It's crazy. I'm gonna move on to something else. Gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. To think that they're planning to do that on a live stream like that, holy fuck, man. Blade experts and oh god. Could you imagine live streaming and you already have that in the back of your head, and then you hear like some commotion, your security just all of a sudden is dead, or maybe your security got paid off, or poor Candace, man. Now, even though this person looks like a libtard, and I don't understand your degree choice, I do have a lot of sympathy for this person, because she's not the only one.
This is a real life testament of how the government is affecting a 22-year-old person living in Texas in the year of 2025. I have my degree. I have my degree in food service. I specifically chose that degree because I knew that everybody needs food. There would always be a job in food service. I cannot find a job from my degree, because technically, getting into specifics, my degree is in baking and pastry, that pays more than $15 an hour. I have seen dishwasher positions offering to pay more. I have applied to nearly every food service related job in a 20-mile radius to my house. I had an interview with Chili's last week. Chili's as a to-go expediter. We'll give you a call back if you get the job. Nothing. No call back. Degree. I went to college. I have been working food service for 6 years. And I was denied a job at fucking Chili's. Food, or like living situation. Let's get into that. I currently make, because I work 1099s, I work 3 jobs right now. I do DoorDash, I do pet sitting, and I am a personal assistant. Currently, right now, I have just made the most money I've ever made. My entire life, actually. I was gonna say this year, but my entire life. I made over $3,000 this month. $3,000. The most I have ever made in a month. The most I have ever made in a year. The most I have made in my life. I don't qualify for SNAP benefits because I currently live with my parents. So, okay, I was looking at getting an apartment. You need to make 2.5 times, you need to make 3 times your rent. I can't find a studio or 1-bedroom apartment that is in a decent-ish area that has work opportunities that is less than $800 a month. Let's up that. $1,200 a month. So instead, I'm moving in with my aunt for $800 a month. But guess what? I still don't qualify for SNAP benefits because the average income of the household is more than the requirement. But why should the household be responsible for my food? I don't want my aunt to have to pitch in to pay for my food. I currently pay for everything. I'm currently at my parents' house. I don't pay rent here, and I pay for everything. The only thing that I do not pay for, correction, is my car insurance. That is the only thing I do not pay for. Living in America as a young adult is near impossible. And now they've cut off SNAP benefits for those who were able to get them. What kind of dystopian fuckery are we living in?
Toro, good morning. Good to see you. Yeah, she does sound a little entitled, for sure. She's not wrong in a lot of ways. I mean, it is completely, my daughter is a single mom and she's late 20s. And she works full time, has to pay for daycare, and she doesn't get any help from the government at all. But she struggles. It's hard. She's like a leasing agent. Everything's expensive. She did actually try to get SNAP benefits one time, and just to see if she could get it, because she barely makes her bills, and they wanted to give her like $13 or something like that a month. $13 for a single mom and a kid. So my mom worked for DSHS for 33 years. So I've heard a lot of stories about it. I think at this point the whole thing needs to be shut down and restarted. So they cut everybody off for a minute, fill the food banks up so that kids and people that need food don't starve, but get all these illegals and everybody that shouldn't be on it off of it. And from what I hear, there's people that have multiple. There's people out there that they have like multiple accounts. They figured out how to get like multiple cards. So she's offered meds. Yeah, it's true. It is tough out. Yeah, $13. Can you believe that? Like, that's just a slap in the face. What are you going to do with $13? Just keep it. It's not even worth the paperwork. So. But she's okay. She's actually trying to get her mom's real estate agent. Her mom works at a bingo hall and a real estate agent. And she does kind of what I do too on the side, cakes and stuff like that. And she's trying to get a real estate license. She just has failed the test twice now, I think. So, you got to. I was a real estate agent for a couple of years, not very long. I got in at the wrong time, 2008, when the market tanked. So, I know the test is confusing because when you take the online course, it's all like I can't remember if it's general real estate laws I think it's more geared towards Washington State, and then when you take the Washington State exam, it's more like national real estate. I can't remember exactly. I know I barely passed that fucking test too, but she'll pass it eventually, and then she'll start making some money. I know she'll be a good real estate agent. They just probably don't make the money that they used to. But that's all the videos I had today. There wasn't a lot going on other than the artificial lamb. So I think I will pull a Tommy Stiggs, and actually I will cut this. I will cut the thing short today, but let's see who Tommy's got on today on the social club before we go. Anna Heche. Not sure who that is. Well, he'll be on at 4 o'clock. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the show, guys. I got another busy day ahead. It's probably going to be it definitely won't be as long as Saturday night, but I'll be back out at the Christmas tree lot again today, selling strawberries and cheesecakes and hot cocoa bombs. And then I got a whole bunch of work to do this week. I mean, I'll be live again tomorrow, but just work. So, appreciate everybody hanging out. Happy Sunday. Enjoy your morning. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.